Hi, today we're going to cover what exercise does to the brain. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Sam Woodrow and welcome to Elite Body and Mind. On this channel, we improve your overall lifestyle. So if you're new here, consider subscribing down below and hit the bell notification so you become part of the EBM community. So most of us know exercise is great for increasing your strength, your speed, your flexibility and reducing your weight. But in this video, we're going to put all that to one side and focus on what it does to the brain, the good and the bad. So, what happens to the most powerful organ in the human body? What starts to happen to the brain when you get up and you start to run for the very first time in the day? Well, in healthy adults, aerobic exercise has been shown to induce transient effects on the brain, which essentially means that you get a sudden burst of energy after just one single session of running or cardiovascular exercise. Think of it like you're turning your phone or your computer on in the morning. After a few seconds, you get a burst of light, and it's the same for the brain. It turns on. This, potentially, is why some of the most successful individuals on the planet exercise in the morning. Think about it. Once you've turned your brain on and you continue exercising, your brain goes to work. But it does take a little bit of time. Your brain is the best and the biggest computer on the planet. Forget supercomputers. The best computer on the planet is your brain. But like every other supercomputer, it needs time to warm up. So if you exercise over a time span of a few weeks or a few months, it starts to improve your neuron activity, your neuron growth, and it also helps with stress. In addition, working memory helps with the neuron pathways, therefore you can have more cognitive control. So if you improve your cognitive control, you can force your brain to target certain things more effectively. You can target your goals or your dreams or something very specific, like a deadline you have to meet at work or at school or whatever it is. And if you have that, ultimately it'll determine where you go, as in career or in life or in a relationship or anything like that. If you have improved cognitive control, you can go and break that glass ceiling and go to the next level. Some studies have also shown that exercise improves attention, improves happiness, improves working memory and problem solving. Therefore, it gives you a cognitive flexibility. After a few months of exercising, you'll be able to process information quicker because over time, the neuron pathways get stronger, therefore making you a more efficient person. So how does the brain do all of this? Well, like most other things in the body, the brain can adapt and change and streamline information or neuron pathways to help you get information from your long-term memory into your short-term memory. This is due to neuron transmitters. The main ones you might have heard of. They are dopamine, norepinephrine and serotonin. Let's start with dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for your motivation. If you didn't have any dopamine within your body, you wouldn't even get out of bed. And I don't mean just sleeping in. I mean, you wouldn't get out of bed. Ever. In fact, to attempt to prove this theory correct, researchers removed dopamine from rats. The results? The rats didn't even open their mouth for food. They starved to death. So, how do you increase your dopamine? How do you increase your motivation to get things done? Exercise! Come on, you saw that one coming. But for this to occur, how long do you need to exercise for? Well, I'll answer that question soon. But for now, let's move on to norepinephrine. This neurotransmitter is responsible for concentration and focus. In higher amounts, it sharpens your attention span, allowing you to focus more and ultimately, over time, get more done and become more productive. Finally, we get to serotonin, which is responsible for your mood. So, it's responsible for if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're angry, anything like that, serotonin. A quick top tip. If you have depression, start exercising. Because if you're exercising, studies have found that your serotonin levels increase. Therefore, your mood will also improve. But how does it do that? Let me tell you. To be honest, it's quite complicated, but I'm going to break it down into little stages for you. So, when you start exercising, your brain replenishes the neurons, okay? When that is done, the synapse refires. It creates an electrical impulse. The synapse, by the way, it's the gap between neurons, okay? So the electrical impulse goes into the neuron and refires. So the synapse connects the neurons. This makes a pathway. The more the pathway is used, the more efficient it becomes, and the quicker the brain impulse, or the electrical impulse, can get from point A to point B. In short, exercise has a neurochemical effect. All three together, so dopamine, norepinephrine and serotonin, allows you to become happier, more focused and more motivated all at the same time. How good is that? So, what is the optimal amount of exercise that you should be doing to improve? Well, normally more is better, but I'm not going to leave you hanging. 6 hours a week will keep all three neurotransmitters working. Also, another top tip, if you exercise in the morning, throughout the day, the neurotransmitters will decrease. However, they will keep going until the end of the day. So the best time to exercise is in the morning, as it will affect your work or school or uni or whatever you do in life. Some studies have even found an optimum time to work after you've exercised. After you've exercised in the morning, the optimum time to work is 10 a.m. as your body and your mind will be in an optimum state. If you don't have time in the morning, the best time to train is 3 p.m. But that's a whole different video. So, when you're exercising, does anything bad happen to the brain? Short answer, no, nothing bad. But I have got 3 negatives to exercising. Number 1, if you consistently exercise, you'll burn more calories. Therefore, you'll need more food, specifically protein. So, your food bill might go up. Number 2, if you're exercising over a long period of time and consistently, the rate of showers due to the sweat you will produce will need to be higher, because you don't want to go to work or uni or wherever stinking of sweat and body odour. So, I'd probably say you need at least 1 shower a day, but you probably would get into the habit of having two. So one in the morning and one at night. Number 3, again, due to your exercising, you will be sweating more. So you'll need to consume more fluid to prevent dehydration. So, what does that do to the body? Well, unfortunately for you, it's more trips to the bathroom. So pretty trivial things, to be honest. If you can deal with eating more, drinking more, going to the bathroom more, and having more showers, I mean, why aren't you exercising? It's brilliant for both your body and in particular, your mind. There is one serious issue that I'd like to bring up with exercising. I'm going to call this number 4, and that's becoming addicted to exercise. When you go for a run or you do some cycling or some rowing or any cardiovascular exercise, the triggers and the release of hormones and chemicals and neurotransmitters in your brain allows you to become addicted because you feel good doing that certain activity, and it brings either stress relief or motivation or happiness, or it brings something to the table that you didn't have before. So when you're doing it, although you have to do it for a long time and you have to do quite a lot of exercise, just be aware that you can become addicted to exercise. Now you have what I call true knowledge of the topic. Get out there and turn your brain on. If you enjoyed that video, please remember to subscribe down below and hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. Also, head over to Twitter to become part of the EBM community. There is a link in the description. But until next time, as always, thanks for watching.